I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Everybody, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. How are you?
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm just giddy. I'm so excited about our guest. But anyway,
you doing all right tonight? You have a good day?
There's been a lot of cleanup going on, from the storms and everything. So, I mean, it's still a somber day, here in southern Missouri and everything. But, it's just going to take some time.
The final death toll was at 5?
It was at 5 that I heard of in Missouri. Okay. Now that's not the final death toll with the storm, but it was in Missouri, 5.
Yeah, it's just an awful deal. Awful deal. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and I'm going to try to give shout outs here until my computer refreshes. So we got Gary, CJ. Let's scroll down here. Straw Dog, Teresa, Daryl Denton, Crystal. Hey, I just talked to her on the phone. I think I said Teresa. Nana Boss, she'll be on tomorrow night with us. Night Marionette Productions, Midwest Night Watchers, Freaky Geek, Glenn, and I just refreshed, so I lost everybody where I was at. Titan 70, CJ, Be Kind. I apologize to everybody. Seriously, my chat just refreshes and I lose where I'm at. So it's not that we don't see you, because we do, and I sure do pray for I was reading her. I do appreciate everybody. I was reading Nana Boss. She said I'm praying for someone in the area, and I appreciate that for sure. So anyway, Brandy, you want to tell everybody what to watch? And let's not waste any time. Let's get Sarah up here.
All right. Yeah, let's hurry up and get to it and get done. All right. Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central, you can watch Texas Front Porch with Big Tex and me, Brandy. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, you can watch Band, Beer, and Variety. At 8 p.m., you can catch Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Beyond BMR. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, Jason McLean's Questions Everything. At 12 p.m. Central on Thursday, it's Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob, should I say, with Krista right over here. I'm pointing the wrong way, that way. Anyway, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, you can catch Blondes and Booze. And on Friday at 8 p.m. Central, if you just can't get enough, you can catch Blondes and Booze and The Woo. Don't forget this Saturday dropping at 2 p.m. That would be Central. That Tex and Danielle Diva are dropping their next episode of Infamous Minds. And this week's episode is going to be at H.H. Holmes.
Awesome. It's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring Sarah up.
Yes.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for having me this evening.
Absolutely. I was excited when you agreed to do this. Seriously.
Well, yeah, of course I'm going to agree. It's you.
I mean, we go back years, and we'll tell the story. But like I said, I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, yay! She said she would.
I know she's been just like a little girl all week. It's been like, oh,
Yep.
Sarah's coming on.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Well, when someone literally saves your life,
Oh.
you owe them a lot. And we won't talk about that quite yet. We'll make everybody wait a little bit. But Sarah, you want to tell everybody about you? You've done some amazing things with some amazing people.
I've
Yes.
been pretty blessed.
Yes, you are. Very much.
So it started with Ghost of Morgan City.
Mhm.
So I started out on Ghost of Morgan City and had the most amazing experience, being submersed in culture and amazing humans and delicious food for over 4 months to create and help be a part of a team that helped a town out in Louisiana.
Yeah. And that was good. That was a good show. And actually, Jeremy Leonard, I've studied demonology under him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. Jeremy was great. He's like a brother. Like we just hit it off, and
He's awesome.
yeah, he's a real neat guy.
We actually
Yeah, and
had him on the show too.
I got done with my classes with him in February. So
Very cool.
Yeah. And we had him on one of our first blonde shows.
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
We did. Yeah. It was back in September or October or something like that. We had him on.
yeah, it was one of our very first ones. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then what was pretty crazy. So I got to tell you, Ghost of Morgan City. So, I knew you from many, many years ago.
Yes.
And then I also knew KD. I've investigated with him a lot. And he was telling me that he's going to be doing the show Ghost of Morgan City. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'll watch it. I was like, well, who else is going to be on it with you? And he said your name. I'm like, no. No. I was like, I know her.
Yep.
That was cool. That was really cool.
It's almost like all my friends are doing a show.
Yeah.
They're all in one show.
It was amazing to work with KD to the way he works, the way his brain works, man, the way he can tech talk you, like it's unbelievable. And to hear his stories, what's behind the work that he does, it was awesome. We became fast friends. Like second episode, I was like, this is a cool dude. This guy knows what's up.
He is. He's a lot of fun. And he builds some amazing equipment.
Yes, he does.
Did you wear the helmet?
No. It was like a joke that they wanted to get me in the helmet. And I was like, no, like, there's no way you can put that thing on somebody else. Like, no.
Right.
No. And when
I should have sent the picture to you. I should have sent the picture to you because I did it. Yeah, me and KD were playing around and I put it on. Yeah.
And what did you think?
At first it was like, okay, there's nothing happening. And then all of a sudden it's kind of like you're just getting into this beat in the lights. And next thing you know, I just saw shadows just moving right along. Like nothing, like just people walking by. And nobody was in the room with me. And they were out of the room watching me on a monitor. So, and I'm telling them everything I'm seeing. And then they showed it to me afterwards. And I'm like, there's nobody in there. But I saw all these people walking around.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't happening to me. Wasn't happening.
For people that don't know what we're talking about, it's kind of like, as Nana Boss asked, the God's helmet. And you put it on, and it's got these lights that flash constantly. And you believe it or not, I personally have not wore it. I've been around it. I've witnessed it, but people actually do see figures and people. And I've even heard somebody say they saw what looked to be an alien that had one of those, had it on.
Yeah. Well, and then the lights flashing, they've got it synchronized to a beat, like it could be like Native American drums or something, but it has a beat that's significant. And using a beat that's significant to the area that you're investigating in is best.
Yeah. So that was that's why I wondered if you had wore it, because I feel like people with abilities, like you said, don't need it. you know, and I think we would see more than what we bargained for.
That's what I think. I'm like, either that or it's just going to melt my brain. Like it's either I'm going to see something insane or literally I'm going to have brain matter dripping out my nose. Like I was just like, you know, maybe someone else should try it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Paranormal Pixie, real quick, Sarah says, Brandy, please give my love to Sarah.
Oh, yay. Giving my love back, sweetheart.
But yeah, that I was curious about that because I do think it's cool and I like to watch people who use it.
Me too. I mean, I loved watching it. Now, mind you, I wasn't wearing it. That's why I was relaxed and comfortable and could just watch somebody else go through whatever it was doing. But it was amazing to watch him kind of like, at first it was nothing. And then all of a sudden it was something. And then it became, I was seeing the same thing he was seeing. And I was like, how are we doing this? Like, this is crazy.
Right. Yeah. Yep. When I first, Katie, the first one that he built, we were at a place in Kansas City, was Shoal Creek Living History Museum. And another teammate wore it that night. And I'm like, okay, I got to go watch this. And that, it was interesting. I mean, he was like seeing all kinds of crazy things, you know? So yeah, it's a cool piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's not good when you can hear like Katie laughing at you from another room, though.
Right?
He's like, "What you seeing in there?"
Yep, exactly.
That is great.
So then after Ghost to Morgan City, where'd you go?
Oh, geez. Portals to Hell. So started doing, I've done probably 7 or 8 portals to hell. I can't remember. Maybe it's less than that. I don't know, but had an incredible experience working alongside Katrina and Jack. And it was quite an experience. The first one was up here where I live in Oregon in the Shanghai tunnels.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my first episodes that I did with them.
Wow. Okay. I got to ask you, how's Ozzy?
Okay. So that was an experience. Honestly, you know, when you're around sensitive people as a psychic medium, you can pick up on their vibes. You know, you can just pick up vibes like that they're like you, or they perceive things like you, so it was really interesting when I first got to the house and I was offered in by Sharon and sat down, and I'm sitting in the office area with Sharon and Ozzy and Kelly I met prior. So it was like this amazing experience meeting these amazing humans. But what I'll tell you is Ozzy, when I started talking about his daughter and how I felt that Kelly, and I do feel, and I still feel that Kelly is a sensitive. I believe Kelly is very much a sensitive. She has experiences in flooding and all these different things that empaths have.
Yeah.
So I was talking about, you know, the location. I had done some remote viewing and that's what I was showing them. And then Kelly came up and I was like, you know, guys, I'm just going to be real with you. I think she's gifted. And immediately Ozzy made eye contact. And let me tell you what, I was like as soon as he turned and he looked at me, he was like, it was like the whole world melted away. And he talked to me about his daughter and experiences that he felt she had had. And it was just this moment, and then it was over. It was just like, you know, talking about his little girl, man, made him stop, made him really connect. Yeah. And very, very witty, very witty. That's what I would say. And then, of course, Sharon is delightful. I mean, she's literally delightful. I mean, I know she would have told me what for if I would have messed up. But it was awesome to be around her, and she just has this sweet, gentle presence.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. How is Jack? Because I like him too, and
you know, I've always appreciated Jack. I've known him for several years, and we'll be eating dinner, you know, off, you know, waiting to film again, and. We'll just have conversations and, you know, like I had some personal stuff come up and he was like, I was having a rough time with people saying things about me. You know, when you're out there in front of people think they can say whatever they want to say and it doesn't hurt. Right. You know, you're on TV. It shouldn't hurt. Sometimes it hurts. And I told him, you know, man, I'm having a hard time. I don't know why people say what they do. And he just stopped and he was like, whoa, do you trust these people? And I said, no, I don't even have a relationship. When he says exactly.
Exactly.
You trust the people you trust. You ask the questions to the people you trust.
That's
And it
right.
was like this moment where I was like, thank you. So just, I think he's great. You know, he's great. And he's very, he's out there for the adventure. He's out there to see what he can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
What he can experience.
Does he still have his little Robert the doll that he had on the show when him and Ozzy toured the US?
I don't know. I haven't met such doll, so I don't know.
Yeah, he had, it was, you know, a little off one of Robert, not obviously the real one, but
right.
But when they did that show where they toured America and did different things.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, and he had that little doll, and then Ozzy would try to ditch it, and Jack would get it back, and
that's awesome.
yeah, that was cool. No, I really think that Jack, I think he's a good investigator, and I think he does it for the right reasons too, not because of who his dad is. I don't believe that got him there. I believe he got that there himself.
I do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, after Portals to Hell, then where'd you go?
See, after Portals to Hell, then it was Kesha. So Kesha, I was asked on board to hang out with Kesha and Gator. I'm not going to say his name completely right. I think it's Gator. And we did an investigation. It was insane. I always do remote viewing before I go to a property. This property, I really did a lot of remote viewing. Yeah, it was quite an experience. I really enjoyed it. It was amazing working with her. She's truly out to see what she can see. She could give to about anything that anyone thinks. Yeah. It's, you know, she's like, no, I want to see if these things happen. I want to experience them. Yeah. And she was very involved with everything that happened on that day. It was insane.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty crazy. And then you did that really cool TV show that I was sad that ended. The one
Terror.
Yep. Yeah. Let's talk about that one, because that was like
totally different vibe, totally different experience. Very, very different. Those of you that have seen it, I visited a ghost town in Montana where a family was being affected by the energies that were on the property. At least that's what we were, the information that we're receiving. And it's an incredible story of a family that literally picked up from Washington and moved to Montana to own a ghost town.
Yeah. And literally it was like a farm. They had horses and everything, you know? Yeah.
But let me tell you what, the energy there, you know, was quite eye-opening. The experiences I had there taught me, stretched me. You know, I have a mouth on me and sometimes it gets away. I'm just going to say it. And sometimes I say exactly what's on my mind. And so there, you see that in the show where I kind of put my foot down here and there. And, but we have such a great team because we're so different. Each one of us is so different in this team that it's like, we're going to bump heads. We better bump heads. Like, yeah, we all have different experiences and different backgrounds. And so we brought a lot of different information to the property itself, a lot of knowledge, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was really sad when it ended. And a lot of these shows, I always wait till they're all out and then I binge watch. I didn't do that with yours. And then it would piss me off because then now I have to wait another freaking week, you know?
But that woman in that show, she was kind of being drawn to a house in town.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did anything come of that? I mean,
she hasn't purchased the house. She was that I know of yet. What I know of, she hasn't purchased the house. That house itself had such a story behind it. I mean, you're talking a family was sitting down to dinner and got up and left and never came back. Like something that would scare a family so badly that dinner's on the table. Sorry, we're out.
Wow.
And that energy of that house, it was, you know, it was like peeling back layers. You'd be there a little bit longer and more information would come through. More things would happen. The stuff that Scott and Tim found. all of that, like that house just had layer after layer after layer. And you know what I thought was really weird is that in the basement we found a postcard that was from Washington, which was where she was from. And that trips me out because I'm from Oregon. I'm very close to Washington.
Right.
And to know that she left there and is attracted to something that's calling her in that literally has mail from the same state she was in. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, it's
Are they still living? Are they still living in that town?
In the ghost town, yes.
Wow. And
I mean, what are they doing with it? Are they just living there? Are they having guests or tours?
Yeah, they're having
or
guests. They have guests there. It's set up for like a bed and breakfast kind of place. And a lot of people now are going and investigating the location itself. So she has a lot of visitors now.
So are they still living there?
that's what she just said. Yeah, they're still there.
Wow.
Yeah. In that same house, the church. It was the church, right?
Yeah, the church. You're right.
Yeah.
See, I've watched all your shows. I can't help it. I got questions.
Yeah, you bring the questions. I love them.
It's like I got questions, because you sit there and you're like, well, what happened to these people after the show? And you don't hear about it.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you can Google it and you'll find a few things, but it's nice to hear from somebody who was there,
Yeah.
so you can get the truth.
Yeah. So when you went there, did you remote view that too? Or did you?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did. I remote because that's when I before even coming to the property, I was like, there's a hole on the property. There's a cavern, there's a cave, there's a hole. There's something to do with these holes. There's something to do. And I drew it over and over again and was like, no, when I get out there, I want to know, where is this hole? Where is this?
Sure.
Because there's something in the earth that is calling. There's something in the earth that is calling. And I drew out there. I knew there was different buildings on the property. I didn't know what they were at the time. I just knew there was multiple buildings because I'm not told anything. I'm told absolutely nothing. Right. And I get very angry if I get any information. So it's made real clear that I'm to know nothing. So when I drove out there, I was like, I had all this done. I was like, here you go. Here's what I got.
Yeah. Wow. So do you believe, like, I know that, was negative type entities there. Are they still there? Did you guys do any cleansings or anything?
Oh, yeah, they did a bunch of cleansings. We did a bunch of cleansings. I taught the daughter how to gifted them everything they needed to cleanse or, remove any energies, try to really support them. And they're very smart people. They know how to take care of things. They, I feel like we helped them, but they were also very knowledgeable.
Yeah. They really seemed like good people. And then, the more you got into it, like she just had a lot going on, the mom, herself.
A lot of different energy, a lot of different energies being hit by a lot of different things. Absolutely.
Yeah. Real quick, Amber asked Blondes, what state are you guys at? We are in Missouri, Amber. Good old Missouri. Now, Sarah, you are in Oregon.
I'm in Oregon. Yep.
So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, let's go back 10 years.
Let's do it, please.
So
I'm gonna sit back and drink my coffee. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of people in the chat that you have helped that take your classes, and I have to say, it was right at 10 years ago. I was seriously at the lowest point in my life. And I thought I was crazy. I thought, I was hearing voices, and I literally was ready to check myself in the nut house. Honest to God's truth. Nobody believed me. I mean, I reached out to a lot of people around my area and nobody replied back to me. So then I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to send out all these emails and see who gets back to me. And you did. And I remember talking to you on the phone, crying like a baby because you told me I was not crazy. And I felt like the world had lifted for me then. I mean, Sarah, I was to the point that, I mean, and I don't say suicide lightly,
No.
but it was there. It was in the back of my mind, and I credit you 110% for saving me.
Oh, honey, you're just magic. You were just, I think a lot of people struggle with the fact that they're gifted. They don't know that they're gifted. It feels like a curse. Does not feel like a gift. It feels very much like a curse. And then when nobody listens, I have the same story as you do. I reached out to so many people and was literally told, I will not help you. You'll take my clientele. I'm like, wait, no, I'm seeing people walk through my wall. What? I don't give two about what? No, I need help. I need assistance. And your story was so real and so true to me. I was like, oh yeah, there's a sister. We're going through this the same. This is exactly what I went through.
Yep. And I remember you told me, and man, it's been a long time ago. It's so weird how I have my brain, I have a shitty memory, but I do remember this. You told me to pull a deck of cards and do reds and blacks.
Yep.
And that's how I started. I'm like, oh man, maybe she's right. Like
might be right.
Yeah. So, and then I took your classes and honestly, I've never looked back since.
I'm glad that it helped. I'm very glad that it helped.
More than helped. You just don't even understand. And then, so last year when I met you at McIntyre, that was huge for me to finally meet you in person.
That was a big deal for me too. It was amazing to finally meet you. Like,
yeah.
You were one of my first students. You were one of my very first students, the first group that went through.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And it just, and I've made, like we were talking backstage, Laura Lee, she's a good friend, and I see like how far everybody has grown, and Cynthia Scoggins, like I message her every now and then, I mean, it's crazy the friendships that I formed from that.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot with my classes, that people like find true friendships that last a very long time. I've found it in each one of my groups as they've come through. I think allowing ourselves to be who we truly are with a group of people, that takes trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, backstage, I was the one on the Zoom. Everybody else was sitting in your living room.
Yeah.
Because they were all local. I was the one that was,
Yep.
in the middle of the country, but yeah, I seriously, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And
welcome.
Well, the way I see that, Krista, is that you were meant to be there. It doesn't matter how you were there, but you were meant to be there. So if there's a will, there's a way. You were on Zoom.
There we go. And so now, I don't do readings or any of that anymore. I just, I like working with the dead, helping them, and getting their stories out. So that's the way I concentrate now. So
I always tell people I don't work for the human, like I don't work for humans. I work for spirit. So it's like the reason I give readings is it's not for the person. It's for those that have crossed. Like that's who I work with, and why I work with. And I would not be doing this if I was doing it for the living. I definitely do this for those that are deceased.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, I believe you have a lot of students in our chat, but anybody out there that's needing some help, metaphysics. I know there's a person out there in chat who I talked with on the phone tonight, was talking about wanting to learn remote viewing, and I dropped Sarah's link in the chat, and I'll do it again. I'll do it periodically throughout the night. You are going to have new classes starting in August, you said?
Yes. The new signups will be for August.
Yeah. So I highly, highly recommend it. I can't recommend her enough. So, and honest to God's truth, like when people tell me they need help, it's you and Jessica Potter. You two are the two.
Yes.
Yep. That I trust, that will be taught right.
I like that. I feel so blessed to be one of the people that you're willing to send people my way. It means a lot.
Yep, absolutely. Always. And how did you, I know the story, but probably everybody else doesn't. How did you get into the metaphysics part of things?
Well, my blood pressure, it's a weird story, but I had a health issue. My blood pressure went to 80 over 60. and I was very, very, very ill. I was passing out. I was having problems keeping my blood pressure up. They told me to no longer drive. Basically, I was at home and I would scoot around on my butt. I'm not joking, to clean my kids' room. Like, I couldn't stand up. I got really ill, and had a good friends that were having a healing circle, and they're like, you should come out to the healing circle. My doctor was like, no, you do not leave the city. You need to be close to me. And I was like, man, I'm meant to go to this. I know I'm meant to go to this. I'm going to go. And I went to this healing circle. And if you've ever been to a healing circle, basically, you know, someone's doing healings and you hold space. You're quiet during the healings. You'll be respectful, right? Well, in the middle of this, someone walks through the wall, and I am full on seeing them, and I start climbing up the couch. I'm like, oh my, either I'm losing my shit because I'm having blood pressure issues, or I'm really seeing somebody walk through the wall.
Yeah.
And I was just taken back, and apparently my face said it all, which it always does. And so the people that were doing the healing were like, "What, Sarah, what's going on?" And I'm like, nope. And they're like, yes, what is going on? What are you experiencing? I said, there's a man here. I gave the reading. I didn't know I was giving a reading. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just talking it out. And the person says, that's my uncle. You are talking to my uncle. And I said,
No.
right behind you.
Wow.
Now, the crazy thing about this is I had to take my blood pressure on the hour. So they were very serious about this. They had me on paraplegic medication. They wanted to make sure that my blood pressure was okay. After I gave my first reading, my blood pressure went to 111. Now, that may not be much for some people, but for me, that gave me my life back. Yeah. And it literally, seriously, I was able to function after my first reading, and I've never stopped. I've never stopped since.
So that, like, honestly, I feel like was God's way of telling you, you know, of getting you to this point.
Yep. We're done playing around is what I got. We're done playing around. You're not listening. You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And I was trying to pay attention. I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to. And then as soon as I was able to let that energy go and let that energy flow, I came right back to my blood pressure being 111. I was so grateful.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I mean, how did you even I don't even know how to put this into words, because that is truly amazing. I mean, after that, did you like hone your skill, I guess,
that's when I got hungry. So once I figured out kind of what I was doing, I started just researching everything I could get my hands on. I was studying and researching, and would spend hours upon hours just looking up information, other people's thoughts, watching people's videos on YouTube way back when. And, you know, just really started what ended up being creating my own modality, which I now teach. So it's crazy because all of it was based around this one experience.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And look where you are today.
Yeah. Very blessed.
Yeah, you are. And
have you ever thought about working with children, you know, the ones up and coming?
Yes.
And having classes with them?
Yes. It's a very big deal for me. That is my next goal, I have some stuff that I share. I have a podcast that I've done that helps people out with kids that are coming into their gifts. I want to do a lot more work there. That's exactly what I want to do. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Teach them right. You know, teach them the right way.
Yeah. Away from fear into love through the magic of the imagination, you know, and allowing them to connect to that and bring forth what comes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I first started my classes with you, I was taking Paxil for anxiety. And you told me, I mean, you didn't tell me to go off my medicine, nothing like that, but you did tell me that could be part of my issue, you know, was allowing the roamers, you know, and stuff, and to, you know, do my homework and stuff. And do you know, since then, it's been 10 years now. I am not on any anxiety medicine.
Really? That's amazing.
For 10 years. Yeah.
That's amazing.
True story. So I've learned how to deal with it, and I still do the roamers thing. Allow them come in and do my thing,
Yep.
But yeah, and I don't have any issues anymore.
That's amazing. That's great.
So I'm not kidding people when I tell you, like, she saved my life, and you can learn so much, and your life will change. Contact her if you're interested at all. Yeah, because I see people in there are wanting your information. So
Crystal put it out there periodically through our broadcast here. So
absolutely. Yeah. And so you've done, like, do you know how many readings you've done over the years?
Oh my gravy. No.
That's good. I was going to say, how could you?
Yeah, thousands. I've given thousands. I don't have a clue what the number would be now. Yeah, I wish I would have done something to keep an idea. It would be really cool to know.
Yeah, it would. I mean, but back then you didn't think about it. You were just, you just want to help people. So who wants to keep numbers, That's
all I wanted was just to help people and have nobody else in that position where you're sitting there and you're thinking you're crazy. You're thinking that, something's wrong with you. I mean, damn, that's just not okay. Yeah. And I've been there, and that's with my students. I try to be real open and connect them and allow them to grow in their own ways. Right. I'm by no means someone's guru. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm here to open the door for you.
Yep. Absolutely. It was, like I said, a very, very telling experience. That's for sure.
Have you ever been, like, at a location and, you've got other cast members or your crew or whatever's going on there, and you just have to stop and go, hey, I've got to tell you something?
I think they get used to it, to be honest with you. And like, there's been times where, like, we're meeting to get going, or we're in a big group because we're getting going and everybody's getting in the cars to move out and things like that, where I will just be like, I have something for you. If you just a minute, if you don't mind. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of people too that are like, is she going to do her weird thing? Is she going to do it? The answer is yes, I am.
Can you imagine somebody going, not now, Sarah, not now.
Yeah.
Later, not now.
I've had that too.
Yep. I couldn't imagine. Where is your favorite place that you've ever ghost hunted?
I would have to say the Palmer House, and is one of my very favorites, and it's because I went to do like help everybody do like a paracon there, but I got to ghost hunt in the basement, and the things that I saw, the things I can't, like, I've had many amazing experiences. Don't get me wrong. The Idlewild Plantation, where we saw a full body apparition, that is going to, take the cake.
Right.
But on another investigation that hasn't been filmed, I would say the Palmer House. And I would say because of the things that you see. See.
Wow.
Like seeing apparitions just, one after another, sounds of footsteps. Something ran at me, literally ran at me. You could hear the dragging of its pants as it ran at me. And oh my gosh, I was horrified. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
See, and on this show, we're always constantly saying, I heard it with my ears, not my head, with my ears. I heard it with my ears, or I've seen it with my eyes. I didn't see it in my head. I
guess I should say I saw it with my eyes.
So then we know exactly what we're talking about.
Right, because when we tap in, we do it differently. It's just different. It's totally different than being just Sarah sitting in a basement going, oh my gosh, I'm seeing this. Like, I'm seeing this. This is so rad.
Right.
I'm not just feeling it. I'm seeing it.
Exactly.
Yep. That's crazy. So the Palmer House, huh? Where was your scariest place?
Oh, yeah.
It still will, and I think it always will be Montana, the ghost town.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That's going to stay with me forever, and that's going to be where running into different energies and learning as quickly as I was trying to learn, but it still was the eeriest, like just kind of eerie.
Yeah. Are you drawn back there at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I always keep in touch with everybody. So like, it may not be every day or every week, but you know, it's sweet. The family checks on me and I check on the family. So
Very cool.
it's not all the time, but we do. If something comes up, I'll get a picture or I'll get a question, but also we stay in touch.
Yeah, that's awesome. And okay, refresh my memory. I know she just up and moved. What was her reasoning? So
she was called to this ghost town.
I was going to say, that's a point that I'm making. Like there was something like
she woke up in the middle of the night and
was
on the computer or whatever and saw this, and that was it. That was it. She was called to this location.
Wow.
Now, wasn't it her boyfriend? I want to say her boyfriend, husband in the very beginning, or somebody who had passed away or had done something in the very beginning.
It was a boyfriend, and she had visions and had seen what she thought was an accident, and she was correct. So she experienced it psychically, and then he did cross. And so she heard sirens. She had this whole experience, and then it ended up coming true.
Yeah.
And so that was the worry, is that energy was part of what was going on out there, was that it was him, you know, messing with things or creating chaos within the energy of the family.
Wow.
Right.
Paranormal.
But that wasn't it. That it was just the
I would say for me personally, I do think something's there about that. I personally think that there's multiple things going on, and I think that's why it was so good. There were so many of us from different viewpoints, because I'm not going to pick up what Tim's going to pick up. It's just not going to happen. He's also not going to pick up what I pick up. It's just not going to happen. They're going to have likenesses. They're going to look alike. They're going to act alike, but we're going to see it from two different viewpoints.
Yeah. Paranormal Pixie said to ask you about the bones.
Okay, so the bones that we found everywhere, that's really also very weird. In all these pits, or anytime we got into the earth, there was always bones. There was always dead things. Like, we would get led to an area just like the house, and there was dead birds everywhere. And people can say, well, yeah, it was an abandoned house. Okay, if they know how to get in, they know how to get out. Like, with all due respect, the stuff that we were seeing, and we were seeing bones. We were finding either animal bone or all different types of bones. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that to me was very weird. Like the things that would happen, and that you would be like, whoa, I'm going to watch for this in the next. I don't want to pay attention to this. I hope that this isn't what we find. And boom, we'd find more bones. We'd find more carcass.
Yeah. Wow. She says the one through the glass was nuts.
Yeah. And the bird and the weird thing about it too, is we did talk to the people that lived across the street, with the people that worked across the street, and they would talk about birds acting really irregularly. And this bird got stuck trying to get out of a hole in this window. And that was, for me, I was like, man, if it wants out, I want out. Like, let's go. Like,
if it's going to kill itself trying to get out,
why?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can answer this or not. And if you can't, I totally understand. Somebody asked where in Montana.
It was in Anaconda.
Okay, Anaconda. Scott asked. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they said that on the show.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since I watched that show.
Yes.
It's been a little while for me too. And goes to Morgan City. Actually, my kids watched them both with me. They got into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they like that kind of stuff too. So it works out well. How often do you are you able to go investigate like haunted locations and things like that?
I'm really grateful for the different paracons that I get to go to, because a lot of times they'll be like, hey, do you want to join us? Like, would you like to join in? And it's like, yes, I get the opportunity to actually go and do it and experience things is just another person. Like, I love that. Like going in and being like, what do I feel? What is that? Like, oh, what could that be? Like, oh, it's, to me, it's a puzzle. Every time I go to, a location, I'm like, let's put this puzzle together. Like, let's do it. And to be honest with you, I stay quiet a lot because I want to hear what other people have to say. I want to see what other people are getting and see how we can put this puzzle together and see what it equates.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Somebody asked if there will be a season 2.
Stay tuned. That is what I'm saying. Stay tuned.
All right, Deb Vitt, you heard it. Stay tuned.
You never know.
Right. I understand that, you can't talk about a lot of that stuff, and they want people to watch, of course.
Yay.
Of course. There's a couple comments here. One of them, Amber, she says, to be honest, I thought the show seemed scripted, except for you, Sarah. You were the only thing that I thought was raw, 100%.
Oh, thank you, Amber. We get that. There's a lot is said about that. I will tell you, I'm always myself. I will always be myself. If you know me, you know that is me. Like, you're going to get Sarah. They want somebody else. They better find somebody else, because it's just going to be me doing what I do.
Yep. And you are right about being very outspoken, because I do remember when you and I were doing, back then, I think it was Skype or something. We did it through, and you had me, I don't even remember who I was reading. And you're like, why the hell are your eyes closed? Open your eyes. It's like, okay.
I'm glad I don't teach like that anymore. It's just rude.
I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense now. Why,
You're like, okay, they're open. Okay.
Yeah. but I was able to do it after that with my eyes open. So that was cool. Amber wants to know, where's the Palmer House?
Oh my gosh. It is, please forgive me. I travel so many places. Let me try to think.
I can Google it too.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
I can Google real quick.
Is it Minnesota?
Let's see. Chicago, Illinois.
What? The Palmer House is in Illinois?
It says Palmer House. Oh, it's a Hilton Hotel. My bad. Nope. Erase that.
Okay. Well, we might want to go visit there too. Vacation.
Palmer House haunted.
Yes.
And then see what comes up.
That should come up with something.
Minnesota.
Woo! I got it right.
Yep.
I was gonna say, is haunted souls out there?
Yeah.
They would know.
Yeah.
They would know. I think they just had an event there, or gonna have an event there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. And then,
well, there's haunted souls right there.
Yep, they're in the. Teresa says, true, but they took me a year to understand. I took my PhD in parapsychology and then cryptozoology, but only Sarah honestly helped me to understand how to use my gifts.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My students just kick ass. Excuse my language, but it's reality. Like, good people that are ready to learn,
Yeah. And then she also added to that, Sarah is so amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Haunted souls. We were just asking where the Palmer House was.
Yes. And actually, Haunted Souls has a question, so we're going to put that up there real quick. It says, can Sarah tell someone if they have abilities or open abilities if a person has them?
Yes. One of the gifts, and I don't know why, is I will literally do that in an audience where I'll point out, just by looking at someone, say, this is your gift. This is what you got going on. This is what you going on. I don't know why that is a gift of mine. Maybe it's because I've taught for so many years now that my body is just like, so if you're someone who's an empath or you're sensitive or a claircog, what have you, yes, it's something that I help people figure out for themselves and then support them as they nurture their gifts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cause without people like you, good people like you, that, or that teach the right way. And that's the way it should be. I'm trying to read through chat here. What, Red Raider. If you want, I will put Sarah's. I'll continue to put her information out in chat, and then you can contact her if you're wanting a reading. We're just here to BS and talk tonight. We're not here to do any readings or anything like that, but I will put her information out throughout the night. And
well, then here's Michael Christopher. He goes, let's all meet up in Minnesota.
Let's do it. Let's go. Everybody in the car. Let's go.
So Michael Christopher is awesome. He actually does come on the show sometimes, and he does do live viewer readings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he is amazing too.
That's awesome.
Yes,
he makes our job real easy because he does all the talking. We just click and tell him if something needs to be said. Yeah. That's all we do.
Yeah.
Real easy show.
Yeah. And Paranormal Pixie says, the amount of confidence that Sarah has helped me find is beyond measure. I will always be a part of the tribe.
Guys, don't get me crying. That means the world to me. Like I said, when you feel lost, when you know what that sensation feels like, when you know what it feels like to be seeing stuff, hearing stuff, experiencing stuff, and you just feel lost. Yeah. And to know, it means the world to know that what I'm doing is helping.
Yeah, absolutely. We are actually coming up on the 52-minute mark here, and
less than a minute.
Yeah, we are going to have to take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, let's talk something that you and I have never talked about. Let's talk Bigfoot, Dogman, UFO, alien, that kind of stuff.
All right.
Are you good with that?
I'm good with it. Let's do it.
Okay. So guys, stay tuned and give us 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. Three minutes. We're almost there. Two-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking it out with us. I want to answer a real quick question from Freaky Geek. He says, interesting, BMR is not live at the same time. So BMR shows, they are on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, and then on Thursday afternoons at noon Central. He does brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. And then sometimes you do see him on our show because sometimes he co-hosts with us. So maybe that's what you're thinking. So anyway, but I just wanted to address that real quick.
Oh, maybe because we simulcast with Texas Front Porch, he thought we
Yeah.
maybe
So
maybe they thought that.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope I answered your question, Freaky Geek. So anyway, let's talk some more weirdness. Let's go down a good rabbit hole.
Let's do it.
What are your views on cryptids, Bigfoot, Dogman, Loch Ness, Mothman, all that good stuff?
You know what? Just because I'm a psychic medium doesn't mean that I believe in everything. And that is very true for me. So if I've had an experience, then I will believe it. But if I haven't had an experience, I don't necessarily go there. So I have an experience where I was at the UFO festival that we have here locally. And I had a gentleman just say, so you're a psychic medium? I said, yes. He said, can you by chance read something for me? If I hand it to you, will you read what you get? And I said, sure, why not? I mean, this is going to be great. So he hands me this manila envelope and I hold on to the manila envelope, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of a forest and I'm on my knees. And I say, well, I'm in the middle. I don't know who this is, but they're in a forest and they fall on their knees. And he's like, that's exactly where we got what you're holding in your hands. I said, okay, I'm headed north. I'm also chirping or sending out a chirp-like noise to something that's running ahead of me. I'm warning something, but I sound like a bat, and I'm not a bat. I'm very big. And he was like, okay. And I said, who am I? Like, this is really weird. Like, I'm just this thing going, like making these noises. And he said, you're a Bigfoot. And I said, Bigfoot? And he's like, you just read where we picked the hair up out of the print. We picked it out of a print and we've had it tested, and you're holding the testing information in your hand.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it took a minute, and I was like, I believe now. I believe because I've seen, I believe because I've held something that was a test result on a hair. Wow. And he had several hairs, and he actually gifted me one. So I actually now have one of the hairs that was tested. It was gifted.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was a real cool experience. It was scary because, again, I just don't believe in everything. Like I'm like, meh, that maybe, but when I have an experience, then I lock in and I say, okay, I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Wow. So my question to you is when you were holding that, did it feel like you were feeling something from something flesh and blood, or was it more than that?
That's interesting. This was very flesh and blood to me, but what I was doing with the chirping, so the communication wasn't verbal. It was something
Right.
happening in the mind. And it's like hive mind. It's really weird. It was like, and they're getting that information as they are physically running also.
Interesting.
So I would say for my own experience, it was a little of both worlds. Like it really was physical. I was kneeling down in the mud. I felt, that's why at first I was like, oh, this is a human. This is a human being. It's a human being that fell to their knees, and it's a human being, because I'm telling myself what I need to tell myself.
Right. Right.
And when he just said, I want you to, here's what you're looking, this is what you're holding. And he pulled it out, proved it to me, showed me the hairs. It was quite an experience.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So Brandy and I, a year ago, I thought all flesh and blood, these are some sort of unfounded ape species out there.
Mm-hmm.
We both did.
Yeah. And I actually had a Bigfoot encounter back in 2020, or it was 2019, something like that. And it was there near Kansas City, but I didn't physically see it with my eyes. That feeling of being watched. And I could always tell ghost, you understand what I'm saying. It wasn't ghost. There was just something not right. And it scared me, and ghosts don't scare me.
Yeah.
So it was actually Jessica Potter that was at that same location. She came up to me and she goes, tell me what happened over there. And I'm like, and this was 6 months later, and I never posted on Facebook, nothing. And she's like, you had a Bigfoot encounter. Is a Bigfoot watching you? I'm like, holy shit, I had no idea. Well, since then, I've really gotten into the cryptid side of things. And Brandy and I, with several people that are in chat, we went to Land Between the Lakes, and it's known for its cryptid stuff out there, and not good cryptid stuff out there.
Okay.
And we seen these beings that was peeking out of trees like that,
Really?
Yeah. And then, but here's the crazy part. What really brought me to the woo side was after that, we were seeing orbs.
Oh.
Mhm.
With our eyes.
Seeing orbs?
Seeing.
Not seeing.
Not seeing with our eyes.
And it wasn't just her and I.
No.
It was the whole group. And
Yeah.
they were not in just one location. They were kind of spotted everywhere.
Yeah.
All the way around us.
So that has really changed my views,
Wow.
from flesh and blood, because I witnessed it. I have no explanation for that. None.
That's amazing.
Well, there's so many cemeteries out there.
Yeah.
And and we were out there, and I had my singing bowl out, and we had that humming, and the vibe was really good, and so I'm just wondering, did we bring in spirits along with other things
Yeah.
checking us out? I don't know.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it was so terribly cold. I mean, it was so cold. And matter of fact, we ended up leaving, and it started to rain and ice when we left. So I mean, we didn't have very high expectations,
Right.
of being out there, because it was freezing cold. But we got more than we bargained for, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, being into the ghost and all these things for all these years, I feel like it opens a person up. And that's why I feel like I had my Bigfoot encounter. I'm open to like an alien encounter, even though that scares me. That really scares me. The alien.
Me too.
However,
I'm like, the one thing that I'm like, okay, no, like I get you. Fine. Young man, fine. Great.
Yep.
I'm like, and I've had an experience. So I've had an experience that was mind-boggling, and so now I'm scared for a real dang reason. Like before, I was just scared for no dang reason. Now I'm scared for a dang reason.
Right. Would you mind sharing your encounter?
No, I don't mind at all. I was in Ireland, taking a group with the Ghost Hunter Cruises. We take people to haunted paranormal ports around the world, and we did a land tour in Ireland with Barry Fitzgerald. And And he had brought on a chef who has his own paranormal team, which was kind of cool. And we had come home that evening in 3 different vehicles, and we all came in off our GPS in 3 separate ways. So this is very interesting. We all have the same address on. We all come in 3 different ways.
3 different ways.
That is correct. And so Barry's like, something's going on. He's like, this doesn't feel right. Something's going on. Let's go outside, grab a blanket. So I grabbed a blanket, wrapped it around myself because it was, it's Ireland, it's cold. And we went out to the front of the castle. And all 3 of us were standing there, me, Will, and Barry. And all of a sudden, Barry screams over there. And when he screams, we turn and this huge light disc comes in. Okay.
Wow.
When it comes in, it blinds my eye, literally blinds me. It goes completely, I cannot see through this eye. And it shoots out and he goes, no. And he turns the opposite direction. He goes, there. And this thing comes in again. And I mean, it comes close. I mean, it comes between me and it's not a block away. We're talking close. And my eye's still not working. And Barry starts going into convulsions. Like it was,
wow.
It was an experience, and it literally changed my life. And I still, to this day, if I flick on a light or shut off a light too fast, one of my eyes can't keep up. It doesn't work the same way still.
Wow. Did you have any missing time or anything with that?
That's what still scares me, and I'm not afraid to share this, is what if they picked us up with the first shot and they brought us back with that second one?
Right.
And I still wonder. And the funny thing about it is Barry and I didn't talk about this situation for 4 years. We didn't talk about it. It was literally, for me, it was life altering. It was seeing something you cannot explain. And I'll never forget one of his last cruises with us. He was like, so what about that thing that I'm like, you mean the UFO? And he's like, yeah. Like we finally talked about it. It was like, man, it was an experience.
Yeah. I'm open to it. However, it really does scare me, the UFO thing. I'm like you. Give me a demon, a Bigfoot, a dogman any day. But it's just the thought of being taken somewhere else.
Yep.
And being
brought back,
prodded, and maybe brought back.
Yeah.
Maybe brought back. Yeah. So that kind of stuff scares me.
Yeah. It was definitely another one to go, okay, I believe now. I'm good. Don't need to be, there's no more proof that needs to be given. I'm good. I believe.
You don't have to come back.
Nope.
Right.
I guess for me is I'm not ready for them yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got spirits and then we've got our cryptids. Let me just figure out all I need to figure out about that before I move on to something else. It's kind of like, just leave me alone for now.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. Yeah. Several people are saying no aliens for them.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, what are you going to do? I would like to get the best experience possible. I mean, not the worst experience, but the best experience.
There you go.
Right.
If I'm missing a little bit of time, that's okay.
Well, since doing this, we've talked to a lot of people, and our shows, we do everything from metaphysics to UFOs, everything. And we've talked to a lot of people that have experienced the missing time and being abducted, and it's just, I'm like, I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. And I know someone who has things that were implanted in his arm. He actually pulled one out, but the other one he can't. And I mean how'd that get there? It's like, it's almost like it's maybe a tracker. Or, they're testing, or, who knows?
Well, on the show today that you were on with Bigfoot Michigan Rob, he was telling the story about him losing time, and he was actually in a boat.
Yeah.
with friends, and he was in a boat, and they were, it was at nighttime. They knew where they were going. They saw where they needed to go. Next thing you know, it's all of a sudden they're almost out of gas. It's becoming daylight outside.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
they're missing hours of time.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I don't want that to happen. Where do I have to sign? I don't.
Please no.
Yeah.
Please no.
Yeah. Like I said, that stuff really does scare me. And however, I have a friend that does the CE5, and that's
Dr. Stephen Greer.
yeah. And it's a lot of meditation, and it's basically calling these things in.
Yep.
And
Through meditation, yeah.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to do that with her this year. It doesn't live that far from me, and I guess it's the adrenaline.
Sarah's like, no. No. That's a
exactly
no.
I mean, I believe in it. I believe absolutely. Why wouldn't we be able to? Like it
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. And I've heard where people have gone on these things and seen like seen things fly in and fly around. So, I mean, I've heard of it happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. And then, I've heard of people too tell their encounters with aliens, cryptids, and they start praying and then they go away. And I find that interesting because that's something you would do to, like a negative type entity,
Right.
but they pray when these creatures are around or this alien and they're gone.
It's probably because they're offended. It's probably because the little alien's like, I'm so offended.
Yeah.
Just like, no, forget it.
I don't know. I just that just kind of like sticks in the back of my mind, So
it is interesting.
Yeah, it's more questions.
It is. We don't have the answers. None of us have the answers. We're just experiencing things,
Yeah, absolutely. We now my latest thing too is and Brandy's, we go to the LBL and it's the dogmen thing. What are your views about dogmen? Do you believe it's possible? I know you haven't encountered one, but
I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Just from the things my eyes have been open to, I do think it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's impossible anymore. Not once you start seeing certain things, it's like, well, I guess I'm not coming back from this. There are certain things where I'm still like, really? But really? But And, and then what does that call on? Probably more experiences. Thanks, guys. Pretty soon I'll be chatting with Dogman.
Well, we don't want that for you, for
Yeah.
sure, because they're not the friendliest out there.
Yeah.
Well, because I was wondering if you could actually give a reading on something like that. I mean, even though you've never seen it, you have no idea what it is, and it's living. I mean, I was wondering if you could do that, but evidently with that the Bigfoot in the envelope, evidently you can. So
well, I think parts of me don't want to. I think there's literally parts of Sarah that's scared. Like, I understand that I can receive and perceive and I can gather information and I can read people and animals and things like that. But, I think there's a scared Sarah in here. There's a part of me that's like, wait, whoa, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's, so I think there's a part of me that still goes, whoa, you stay right about there. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I could see that.
What's that, Brandy?
I said I could see that. I mean, honestly, you're just like, well, no, that's enough.
Nope.
That's if I didn't understand them before me and Christy even got into this before, I would say no, stop, no, please, just I don't want anything to do with it. But now that we're learning so much more and doing so much more and actually actively getting out there to find things,
Seeking.
it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And that surprises me about you, Brandy, because you are an adrenaline junkie like I am.
I'm horrible. I am horrible when it comes to that stuff. You're like, this place is haunted. It is. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like, I seen a Bigfoot. Where? Let's go. It's kind of like I'm that type of person that is like, you're talking about a location that's haunted and this happened and this happened and this happened. First thing I want to do is find out how I can get there, how much it's going to take, and how long will it take me to get there.
Yeah.
And because I want to see for myself, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm always the idiot that's sitting in there by myself in a room by my, all there by my lonesome going, okay, not knowing.
Right.
Because I just want to see if it's like, is it hype? Has it been just built up,
Right.
or is this actually for real happening?
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Sarah, have you ever encountered like a demonic entity?
I'm not sure. Because again, that's not my education. That's not where I don't wear those glasses. So have I ran into gnarly stuff? Absolutely. Yes.
Mhm.
Do I know that it's a demon? I don't, because I don't study, and I should maybe take a class or two on it. I know when I felt bad. I know when I felt evil. I know when I felt darkness. It's not my favorite.
Right.
It's not my favorite. But early on, I had been called out to a house to cleanse it, and didn't know the number of the unit. And I was just walking around, right? Because I had about 20 minutes before I was supposed to be there. I was like, shoot, I got to find this place.
Mm-hmm.
And this huge energy leaned out over the window and said, "You're looking for me." And no joke, that's how I found the house.
Wow.
That's the apartment.
I just got goosebumps. That
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wasn't playing around. This energy wasn't playing around. And what he was doing to the family was absolutely uncalled for and not okay. And his energy had been called there, had been summoned. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I know we're dealing with something that I'm not used to dealing with, but we're going to take care of it. That's for darn sure. This isn't going to be here when I leave.
Right. Wow.
But yeah, I've experienced that type of energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I did this. I've done several demonic cases, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, they still scare me, to go back and do it again. However, like, my body reacts differently with ghost when it's even if it's a negative type ghost,
totally.
it's still the same feeling. Now, whenever I'm around a demonic entity, and Brandy actually witnessed this, I get dizzy and I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Oh, okay.
So, my body tells me, what's around. And whenever I do the bad type negative cases, I'm the person that goes in and looks for it. Yeah. Yeah. So, because, the demonic, they're not going to come out and announce themselves. You got to find them. Yeah. They will stay hidden. So, yeah. So were you able to help that family and clear it?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It was called in. The energy was summoned to the space, and was able to get it gone.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? That's what it's about, is helping people. That's why I got into this a long time ago. And it's a lot of people, and not only people with abilities, but people who have hauntings. They don't believe them. They don't have they'll go to a church and they'll be turned down, or, yeah, it's sad. And that's why I believe, we all do this for the right reason.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tex, he just says they are cowards, and absolutely the demonic. Yeah, they are.
It becomes a political game, with the church. They don't want to be associated with something that could possibly be demonic or not, or they just don't want their image tarnished. Right. So they'll turn you down regardless. And if you go to a Catholic church, then you have to go through all this red tape, and it could be a year or so later before you get anybody to your home. And I was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Just like, come on. See, but we have such a wide circle of friends. We have people to call, which is nice for us. But then there's other people that don't, but we do. I mean, it's like, hey, I've got a problem. Can you come over just for a little while?
You get this going. Yeah.
He's like, tell me what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. You've been doing conferences and all that good stuff. I haven't seen you did a Bigfoot conference.
Yes, this summer was the Oregon Bigfoot Conference, and it was great. They always put on a great conference and bring amazing groups together. And you get to I like it because you get to, I feel, step in other people's, like, for me, like listening about Bigfoot and learning more about Bigfoot. Yeah. It's fun. It's like this is great, and great group of people that came out.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out real quick. Medium John Covey.
Yes.
Yeah, he was actually, I know he's taken your classes,
yes,
but he was actually studied under Jeremy Leonard as well with me.
That's right. Yes, so, absolutely.
So see, hello. One big circle. Big circle.
Exactly. Exactly.
So just a shout out. Hello, my friend. Haven't seen him or talked to him in a while. So that's kind of cool.
I love him. I love him and his mom to death.
Yeah. Yep. And text is kind of funny. He's talking about demons. He says, just slap them upside the head with the good book and then stomp a mud hole and walk it dry. There you go.
It's easy.
He's like such a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
He's such a big teddy bear.
Yeah. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. That's the quick way. I'll get right on that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've doing this, I have witnessed things that people just, unless you have to be there to see it to believe it, and the demonic are tricksters, and that was one of the things I learned in your class about, like tricksters in general, not necessarily demonic, but yeah, you gotta figure this out, and if you do, paranormal investigating, you have to know what you're doing, I feel, and know who or what is there and keep your guard up at all times.
Be careful.
Yep. Absolutely.
Be careful. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Krista and I fall in a, I guess in a weird area, because I mean, we have people who are on the cryptid side that would never want to meet any of the spirit side. They're like, nope, yeah. I'll take a cryptid any day. And then you have the paranormal side that says, no cryptids for me. Yeah. So, and Krista and I are like, show me.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of funny because, like she said, the people we do go doing the cryptid stuff with, they want absolutely nothing to do with the ghosts. And I can't blame them, I mean, it's nothing that they've been experienced.
Yeah.
Right. They have a different view. They're taking it from a different book. They're just living a different way. Like, it just is. It's interesting too, because I do agree with you. You do find that where I'll go to the UFO community and they're not talking about ghosts.
Right.
In the ghost community, they're talking about UFOs. You go to the Bigfoot, who's not talking about, and it's like, you get some of us together and you're like, wait a second, what is this that we're dealing with? What are we actually seeing? What are we actually experiencing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, and what's going through my head is I feel they're all connected in some way. So why not learn? I'm not saying to go out and go ghost hunting, but why not learn more about all of it and be well-versed, well-educated, to just protect yourself.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So, and I've told them people the same thing, just learn about it,
Well, yeah, Jeremy will always tell you, knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
Yep, absolutely. Overbuilt Automotive, he's talking about Bill Bean. He said, I heard Bill Bean slap them with the authority of God and his word. They run from him. But he got to give and has been told to do it by the Most High. I look up to that guy. I think Bill Bean, he actually helped a friend of mine. He's a demonologist, and he helped a friend of mine too. So yeah, very cool. Have you when you come over to the Kansas City side, did you guys just go to McIntyre, or did you?
Yeah. That's where we were at.
Okay.
And that was a great experience too. I mean, it's a great place also.
Yeah. Yep. We'll go back onto that here in a minute, but Tex says it's to the point where the cryptid investigators have to be prepared to deal with the paranormal and spiritual aspect. Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. 110.
We found that out last time being in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, when you come back in September, excuse me, you'll have to let me know where you guys are coming because
Yes, I will. I promise.
Brandy and I will definitely make a trip.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'll let you know as soon as they let me know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Katie myself too and say, hey, where are you planning on going? And maybe suggest the museum tour because that's a cool place.
Yeah, she loves that place.
Yeah.
And see, we can do that anytime, even in the off season when nothing's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, definitely if you hear about it before me, reach out to me and
I will. I promise.
Let me know where because I'd like to see you again.
Yeah, we'd love to see you again, honey.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know I told you an hour and a half, Sarah. And
we don't want to make anybody upset at your house.
Yeah. They've been warned.
Yeah, I do have one question. There is somebody that does have a question for you, Sarah, and we can answer it real quick.
Yeah.
CJ asked, if I try to connect with what's communicating to me over the radio, I mean, is there a safe way for me to see if they will talk to me without conjuring a demon?
Yeah. So, I always tell people if we're going to work in that kind of, you want some mediumship training, you want to know what to do. You want to know how to protect yourself. I would suggest crystals. I would state intention. If you state an intention, we have power over this domain, which we know. And so if we state an intention, that is what should occur. So if you state an intention clearly that any information that's coming to you is in light and love only, or your own take on that is what will occur.
Yep. That's
what should occur. And always trust your gut. Always trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right.
Yep. If your gut tells you to go left and you want to go right, by golly, you better go left.
That's it.
Right. Yep. Well, there was somebody who asked a question. I wanted to address this one as fast as I can. Sure. There was somebody who asked something about wanting to get a Frank's box. And she said that something about she couldn't find someone to make a Frank's box for her. Let me explain a story real quick. Frank Sumption made these boxes to actually communicate with aliens. Mm-hmm. Then he figured out, hey, I can communicate with spirits with these things. He made these out of his house. They are numbered. He has now since passed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
These are hard to get a hold of if there's still, if there's, some in existence, which we know Robin Terry has quite a few.
Yeah.
But you can no longer get a Frank's box. Those are done. But Katie Stafford at what is that?
Supernatural Inc.
Yeah, Supernatural Inc. He makes spirit boxes and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, if you want one of those, go to Katie Stafford's website and you can order them off of there.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you could private message us and we can hook you up too. We can send you their link.
That too.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you so much, Sarah. Seriously, thank you so much. It
was so much fun. I'm so glad you guys asked me to do it. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Now we got to go ghost hunting.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we did at McIntyre, and that's a cool place. That's an awesome place.
Yeah, but we need a private. We need a private.
What I was bummed about though, McIntyre. So this is kind of funny story, and God love Katie. I love her to death. But at check-in time on Saturday morning, she had all this line of people and she didn't have any paperwork ready. And she pulled me. She goes, "You've done this before. Do this for me. I need help." So I did, and then I missed you when you did your talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was checking in people.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, the door was shut, so I didn't want to open it, and go in there. So yeah, so I sat outside.
Dang.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. So maybe next time, but definitely, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll plan on sometime in September.
Yeah, I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, and then we'll plan a fun hunt. Just a few of us getting together, and
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Katie too and talk to her more about it. So absolutely. Thank you again, everybody. Next week, who do we have next week? Do you
Well,
remember?
tomorrow night. Who do we have tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, tomorrow night. Why am I thinking this is Friday? Tomorrow night we have Ron Moorhead, the Sierra Sounds, and Nana Boss is going to co-host. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's going to co-host with us. We're so excited. We love her.
Yep.
So
it'd be a good show. And then next week, I honestly, it's hard week by week, you know.
Well, we do so many shows a week. I'm on Mondays. We're on Thursday night and Friday night. You're on Thursday afternoons, and then we've got some in between. And
yeah,
we just got too many shows.
Awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, we stay busy. But thank you guys. And Sarah, I love you with all my heart.
Love you too, sweetheart.
And
thank you for being on. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Seriously.
Absolutely. And until tomorrow night, guys, we'll see you later.